Welcome back, students. Welcome to my channel, English Catalyst. And today I am here with a new topic. As you know that we have already completed 4 chapters from your literature, and we have also done some language work. And on my previous video, I have already uploaded the technique of writing a job application letter. So today I thought to go for something technical, a technical part of your English language and literature. Technical part means today I thought of doing the literary devices, especially the poetic devices. Okay, you might have seen questions, question that comes like what poetic device has been used in this line, and at the time of explaining a particular poem, I always explain you that this is the poetic device used in this line and all. Okay, but we cannot discuss everything and in a single poem, right? Because there are many important poetic devices you need to know. So today I thought to discuss about poetic devices, right? So here I start. I have already made a video on my computer so that you can read everything what I have written here. Okay, these are very important information regarding poetic device. I'll discuss everything, all the poetic devices which are important for you in your class 12 syllabus. Okay, so let's begin. So today we will discuss poetic devices. As I said, I'll discuss the concept, the commonly used poetic devices, and its meaning with example. So I'll be providing you the definition, okay, and the examples of every poetic device. So let's begin with what is a poetic device. Okay, a poetic device is a tool, is a method, is a technique that serves different purposes on a poem. Okay, some of them are ornamental, some enhance the meaning of the poem, and others add to its rhyme and lyricism. Poetic devices are essential tools that a poet uses to create rhythm, enhance a poem's meaning, or intensify a mood or feeling. So actually it is a technique of writing a poetry. The poets, they use it to enhance the beauty of their creation, right? So this is a poetic device. Now, there is a small difference between poetic device and literary devices. Okay, there is a very important point here. It's written, always remember that all poetic devices are literary devices, but not all literary devices are poetic devices. Okay, you may not get confused with this part. Let me repeat it. All poetic devices are literary devices, but not all literary devices are poetic devices. It means the poetic devices, what we are going to talk about, they fall under literary devices. Okay, whatever devices we use in literature, okay, that all comes under literary devices. But not all literary devices are poetic devices. That means, like, the examples what I am going to use today are a bit different from literary devices. There are few literary devices like what we use, like what we in the time of reading a drama or a story or a novel, we often use such words like climax, anticlimax, hero, anti-hero, tragedy, comedy, scene, canto, humor, satire, drama, fable, fairy tale, flashback, soliloquy. These are some examples. There are many, so I have given you a few examples. Okay, these are not poetic devices. These are literary devices. Remember. Okay, so all poetic devices are literary devices, but not all literary devices are poetic devices. Like the examples what I have given, like climax, anticlimax, fairy tale, fable, soliloquy. Soliloquy means when a character talks to himself. Like climax means the change in the last part or the last in the story or in the drama. So these does not come under poem section, right? So poem section means specially what we use in a poem, in poetry. Remember, okay? So I hope you understood this point, that all poetic devices are literary devices, but not all literary devices are poetic devices. Okay? Now let me give you a list of the 25 commonly used poetic devices. Okay? Like, you will not find most of the devices in every poem, but you will find the devices in different poems, right? But you need to understand that what kind of devices is this, why it is called alliteration, why it is called assonance, why it is called onomatopoeia. Okay, so I have listed out of many only 25 commonly used poetic devices for you. Okay, and today I'll be discussing, in this first part of the video, I'll be discussing the first 10 devices. Okay, on my next video you will get another 15 videos. Okay, 15 poetic devices. Now I'll start with the list. Alliteration. First comes alliteration. I'll tell you what is alliteration, how it is done, the example. Assonance, onomatopoeia, personification, repetition, simile, metaphor, pun, enjambment, hyperbole or exaggeration, rhyme, symbolism, transferred epithet, allusion, irony, ballad, sonnet, apostrophe, allegory, blank verse, consonance, imagery, anaphora, synecdoche, and ode. So these are commonly used 25 poetic devices. Okay, so you have to understand all the poetic devices, because in your poems in class 12 syllabus and further, and you may get help if you know these poetic devices, if you study, if you decide studying literature. Okay, so I'll begin with the first one. The first one is alliteration. Okay, as I said, I'll be discussing only 10 today. On my next video, I'll go for the remaining 15. So I'll start with alliteration. So what is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound. Okay, you know that vowel sound and consonant sound. Okay, the repetition of consonant sound at the start of two or more consecutive words is known as alliteration. So let me make it very clear for you. The repetition of two consonant sounds. If you can see in the example, okay, these are very famous poem by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Okay, the line says, "The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. We were the first that ever burst into that silent sea." So this is a very beautiful line, very famous line. The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. We were the first that ever burst into that silent sea. But, you know, we are not discussing the lines and the meanings here, so I'll be going the technicalities of these lines. As I said, we are discussing alliteration, where two or more consecutive words is known as alliteration. Okay, now look at the highlighted with the red color words. Okay, breeze blew, B. Okay, two or more consecutive words, two consecutive means one after another. Okay, repetition of a consonant sound. This is the consonant sound, B does not fall on vowel, right? So breeze blew, foam flew starts with F. The furrow followed tree, two or more consecutive, so it can be three also. F. Furrow followed free. Okay, silent C, SS. So where two or more consecutive words repeats, okay, two or consecutive words repeats, okay, repeats of consonant sounds is called alliteration. So remember the lines. The lines are very important. The lines. This is just for example, but I am requesting you to remember, because it's a very famous poem. Okay, by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Okay, so now let's move on to the second one, assonance. Okay, now assonance takes place when two or more words close to one another repeat the same vowel sound but start with different consonant sounds. Okay, let's give it a look again. Assonance takes place when two or more words close to one another repeat the same vowel sound but start with a different consonant sounds. Okay, it's very close to alliteration, the technique of alliteration, but the but it is different. How? Because in alliteration you learn that when two or more consecutive words starts with a consonant sound, but here the words will start with consonant sounds, but in these words the vowel will be used close to one another, same vowel sound, like in this very famous poem by Robert Frost on Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, a very famous and unknown poem to most of the students. I have taken these lines from the poem. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Okay, so we are not going on the theme of these lines. You know, it's very known to everybody. It's a very famous poem, and I miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep is a very common. It's a very common motivation, okay, for most of the people. Okay, so let's go for the technicalities of these lines. He gives, you can see that I have highlighted the vowel sounds with red, right? Gives, I, his, I, harness, ee. So two or more consecutive words, okay, close to each other when it repeats when it starts with a different consonant sound, okay, a different consonant sound but repeats the same vowel sound. Gives, his, harness, bells. You can see that give starts with G, his starts with H, harness starts with H, bell starts with B. So I, E, E repeated. Same. The only way other sounds are sweep, it starts with S, and double E. Two consecutive vowel sounds are repeated. Okay. The word deep starts with a different consonant sounds, and it is the double E is being repeated. Okay. Miles to go before sleep. G, O and O are repeated very closely to each other, very close to each other, and sleep, double E. The two E's are repeated here. So in the same line again, the same technique. Okay. So if you find this kind of technique written in a poem, so you can clearly say that it is used as assonance, right? So please remember, assonance takes place when two or more words close to one another repeat the same vowel sound but starts with a different consonant sound. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, a very important one, onomatopoeia. You heard it a number of times, onomatopoeia. So let me give you the definition. Onomatopoeia refers to words whose pronunciations imitate the sounds they describe. So very simply, onomatopoeia is a technique where words define sound, okay, sounding words, okay, like boom, okay, boom is a sound of bursting crackers, okay. So the word boom is used for creating an effect of the sound. So that is onomatopoeia. So I have taken a very famous poem by Robert Browning, The Pied Piper of Hamelin. Okay, so you can see these lines. There was a rustling that seemed like a bustling of many crowds jostling at pitching and hustling. Small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, and little tongues chattering. And like fowls in farmyard when barley is scattering. Okay, so you can see the words highlighted with red, okay, red color. You can see that rustling, bustling, jostling, hustling, pattering, clattering, clapping, chattering, scattering. These are the words which describes sounds of different things. Okay, so when it comes to sound, okay, sounding words, it will be called as onomatopoeia. Always remember this. Okay, now move on to the next one. A very commonly used and very much known to you, personification. Okay, personification. In this word personification, you can find a word person. Person means human being. Okay, and you know that how what is called personification, because personification is a figure of speech in which a thing, an idea, or an animal is given human attributes or traits. So when human qualities are described, okay, through any non-living object, okay, that will be called as personification. In most of the poems, you will find a few words or lines in of personification. Okay, so to describe this personification, to make it very clear and simple to you, I took a very known and very famous poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Okay, you have already means read this poem, I guess. Okay, it is The Brook. You know that brook is a river. Okay, in Alfred Lord Tennyson's brook, the river is describing its journey. Okay, and Alfred Lord Tennyson described brook as I. So brook is in the first person, I. Okay, but brook is a river. Okay, so whatever brook is describing, okay, on its journey, okay, the river describes itself as I. So I come from haunts of coot and hern, I make a sudden sally, and sparkle out among the fern to bicker down the valley. By 30 hills I hurry down, or slip between the ridges, by 20 thorps a little down, and half a hundred bridges. Okay, so it's a very famous poem. I'm not going by the meaning of these lines now, and so I'll discuss about personification. I come from the haunts of coot and hern. Okay, so you can see the red colored highlighted words. I come, I make, I hurry down. So remember, I is the river brook. Okay, so the brook, the river, has been personified. So this is the way personification can be used in a poem. Okay, always remember this. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Repetition. Repetition is a very commonly used poetic device, and repetition with the word, you can see that when a part of a word or a phrase is being repeated. Okay, so let's go to the definition. Repetition is a literary device that repeats the same words or phrases a few times to make an idea clearer or more memorable. Okay, so repetition is nothing but a poetic technique a poet uses to emphasize on a particular part. Okay, and you can say that was a tagline of the poem, repetition. That's why it is being repeated. Okay, to create an impact on the reader's mind. Okay, so I have taken a very I took the same poem. I took the same poem of Alfred Lord Tennyson's Brook. Okay, and in the poem Brook, two lines have been repeated 4 times in the poem. 4 times. Okay, in the 8 paragraphs, what we find in the 8 stanzas, 4 times these 2 lines have been repeated. So let me read it. Till last by Philip's farm I flow. I is a personified here. Okay, so let's not go to that now. Till last by Philip's farm I flow, to join the brimming river, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. I chatter as I flow, to join the brimming river, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. So you can see that the 2 lines, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. Okay, so these 2 lines have been repeated 4 times. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever, which means that human beings are not permanent. Okay, our life is temporary, but nature will be there on its place. Nature is not temporary, nature is permanent. Okay, so human beings will come, they will go, but nature will remain in the same place. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. So these 2 lines have been repeated 4 times in the poem Brook by Alfred Lord Tennyson. So this is repetition. Okay, next, a very common one, simile. Simile is an explicit comparison. Explicit means when to make it very clear to you, to make it understandable. Okay, so simile is an explicit comparison between 2 unlike things, 2 different things, through the use of connecting words, usually like or as. In poems, you will find the connecting words like, as, okay, to compare two things. Okay, it's a comparison between two different things. Okay, so I have taken a very famous poem by Christina Rossetti, A Birthday. The lines are, my heart is like a singing bird whose nest is in a watered shoot. My heart is like an apple tree whose boughs are bent with thickest fruit. My heart is like a rainbow shell that paddles in a halcyon sea. My heart is a gladder than all this because my love is come to me. Okay, so from this poem by Christina Rossetti, A Birthday, I've taken these lines. You can see that in every alternative line, the word like is used. The like word is used to compare. So the Christina Rossetti in her poem The Birthday, A Birthday, she has compared her heart with a singing bird. She has compared her heart with an apple tree. She has compared her heart with a rainbow shell. So when you make comparison with two different things, okay, with the words by using the word, the connecting words like or as, it will become simile. So the students, they often get confused with simile and metaphor. Metaphor is a hidden meaning, okay, the other meaning. And simile is simple. Simile is simple, it's comparison. That's all. Okay, let's move to the next one. Metaphor. Okay, metaphor is a figure of speech that makes an hidden comparison between two things that are unrelated. When two things are compared, but which share the same common characteristics. In other words, a resemblance of two contradictory or different objects is made based on a single or some common characteristics. Okay, so let's give an example. I have taken an example from a poem from your class 12 syllabus, an elementary school classroom in a slum by Stephen Spender, that I'll discuss later about the poem. Let's not go for the poem now. It's a beautiful poem by Stephen Spender. So I have taken two lines here. Okay, the very first line and another line. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces. Okay, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes. Now, in this line, far, far from gusty waves, two things have been compared. Two things are different, but there is something common. Gusty waves. Gusty waves here denotes the energy, youthfulness, the power. Okay, these children's faces. In this poem, Stephen Spender, he is describing a group of children in a classroom. Okay, and the children, they are devoid of everything. So they have been compared with gusty waves, and far, far from gusty waves means they are very much unlike the gusty waves. They are very different and opposite to gusty waves, means they have lost their youth, they don't have that power, they don't have that energy. To explain this line, he uses far, far means very opposite from gusty waves, these children's faces. This is metaphor. Metaphorical meaning, we often call metaphorical meaning, means the hidden meaning. The paper seeming boy with rat's eyes. Paper seeming boy means very thin. Paper is very thin. Okay, to explain the meaning, how the boy looks like, the poet Stephen Spender used the metaphor, the paper. Paper seeming boy, the boy looked like a paper, very thin. Okay, and with rat's eyes. Rat's eyes means, this is also metaphor. Rat's eyes means like a rat always tries to find food. Okay, so the children who are devoid of everything, as I said, they also search for food, and they do not have anything on, they do not have any other interest. Okay, they only search for food. Okay, they search for food like rats. The rats is the way they find for food. Okay, so this is metaphor. Pun. Pun is, I would not say very commonly used. The technique is very common, but we do not often find it in most of the poems, but it's a very important one. Pun is a play on words that produces a humorous effect by using a word that suggests two or more meanings, or by exploiting similar sounding words that have different meanings. Okay, so while I'm describing this definition, you can pause it and you can read it very carefully. A pun is a play on words. We know poet. A poet has all the liberty to use, right? With the poet can play with words. Okay, so pun is a play on words that produces a humorous effect. Okay, by giving a different meaning, two or more meaning words. Sometimes we call double meaning words, right? So you can see the example. There are many examples you can find it from internet. So I have taken a very small one, a very means easy one. The tallest building in town is the library. It has thousands of stories. There are two meanings. The tallest building in the town is the library. It has thousands of stories. The pun on the difference between stories in books and stories. Stories also called as floor. The building has many floors and the library is full of books. The books which has many stories, right? So this is the way a pun is used. Let's move on to the next one. Enjambment. Okay. Enjambment, it can be defined as a thought or sense, phrase or clause in a line of poetry that does not come to an end at the line break but moves over to the next line. In simple words, it is the running on of a sense from one couplet to line to the next without a major pause or syntactical break. Syntactical means the system, the rule what we follow. Okay, syntactical, the word has come from syntax. Okay, so let me make it very clear to you with an example. How beautiful are sunflowers that yield without difficulty, blooming so fully now in the light of the sun. You can see that the first line is not complete here. The second line is the continuation of the first line. How beautiful are sunflowers that yield. Sunflowers, that is the connecting line with sunflowers. How beautiful are sunflowers that yield without difficulty, blooming so fully now in the sun, in the light of the sun. Okay, so when a line is continued to another or more than one line, it will be called as enjambment, which does not follow the exact rule and the system of language. Okay, that time it will be called as enjambment. So let's read the definition again. It can be defined as a thought or a sense or a phrase or a clause in a line of poetry that does not come to an end at the line break. At the line break, the line breaks here after the first line, but moves over to the next line. So the line moves to the next line. How beautiful are sunflowers that yield without difficulty, blooming so fully now in the light of the sun. In simple words, it is the running of a sentence from one couplet. Couplet means two consecutive lines or line to the next without a major pause or syntactical bit. Major pause means full stop. Although you can see there is a bit of pause here, a comma, okay, and major pause means without any full stop, which when it continues to the next line or two or more than two lines will be called as the poetic device enjambment. This is also another poetic technique the poets often use. It's a modern way of writing poetry. Okay, so let's move on to our last for today's poetic device video, hyperbole or exaggeration. Hyperbole, a very commonly used word. Hyperbole means when you derive something, okay, with means with a sense that the meaning which means to exaggerate it. That's why the word has come, exaggeration. Okay, we often call hyperbole as exaggeration. So the definition is hyperbole derived from a Greek word meaning overcasting. I mean, when you when you define it with words which cannot be compared with that thing, but it's a day-to-day way of talking. Talking between it's a day-to-day way of the talk between two people, right? It's a figure of speech that involves an exaggeration of ideas for the sake of emphasis. It is a device that we employ in our day-to-day speech, right? So let me make it very clear with an example. Your suitcase weighs a ton. A suitcase cannot weigh a ton, right? Okay, that means it's very heavy. I am dying of shame. Nobody can die of shame. Okay, but it's a sense to create the emphasis that the person is very shameful. The businessman was so busy that he was attending to 1,000,000 calls simultaneously. Okay, that means the businessman was too busy to attend calls. Million means you cannot receive 1,000,000 calls a day, right? So it is called exaggeration to emphasize on that part what you want to say, right? So these are the first 10 poetic devices for today, and I don't want to discuss all the 25 in one video. It will be it will not create the impact on your mind. So I'll go for the next 15 on the next video, the part 2 of this video. Okay, so see the video again and again, and read the definition, go for the meanings, and search other examples from other books, poems. And whenever you read a poem, try to find the technicalities of every line. Okay, you just need not to read a poem and enjoy. Okay, you can always, poem is for pleasure, right? So whenever you're reading a poem, try to find out the small technicalities the poet uses. Okay, it will enhance your knowledge. Okay, and it will also be helpful in your class 12's syllabus, because in questions from the poems, you will often find a question related to poetic device. Okay, so that's all for today. On this video, you have learned 10 poetic devices, very commonly used 10 poetic devices, and with definition and example. Okay, if you have any query, anything you want to ask me, you can comment on the YouTube link, and I will be able to reply you. Or you can I'll upload the link to the school website, where you can also comment. And if there is any problem, if you want to ask for more, if you have any request on more poetic devices after you watch the second part of my video, if you have more requests on poetic devices, then I'll also do that. Okay, so thank you for today. Stay safe and be at your home. Okay, and please do follow the school website for more updates by the other teachers. Okay, do follow the school's website regularly. Okay, because all the teachers, they're putting their effort to help you with your studies by uploading videos, PDF files. Okay, so thank you so much for being with me today. Please press the bell icon and like and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much. Thank you.